Hello, my friends. I want to thank all y'all who watched my video talking about this fossil. Now, someone made a comment that it could be valuable. I should go back where I found it and look for more, apparently. Well, unfortunately, I found this when I was a kid in an alley somewhere in the rocks of the alley. So I'm not going back there and looking for more. All right, let's talk about something else real quick. You don't see the N out on the end of this too often. The X's, that's how many times they've went through these. They start at A, B, C, and run their way through the alphabet. This is the letter N, so it's several times they've went through printing the entire series of numbers. Now this one, 2 zeros on both, it's a bookender. It's got folds on it. It's probably not going to be worth much, but it is kind of cool. Now, I do have a few other things to talk about. The other recent video was about this 1913 Philadelphia Barber half dollar. A lot of people watch that too, and I thank you all. Now, I have another video that will be going live soon showing this one, 1915. In terms of the mintage and stuff, the 1915s, Philadelphia, is quite a bit more rare than the 1913. And even with that, the 1914 is the really rare one. Compared to those two, it's a little bit less. Now, I do have a couple other things to show, but I'm going to tell you that I have my penny jar full of copper cents. And I'm going to open this up and pull one out of it. If I can get a hold of it. There we go. These are all memorial cents from 1959 to 1981. Now, the problem is going forward, getting rows of cents to search to find more, or to get more just to put in it. Luckily, I have a cup. Let's move this out of the way. These are all the same kind of cents. And I have a second cup of the same kind of cents. So 2 cups that are going into the jar. So we're going to go ahead and put them in the jar and see how close to the top it gets. Because I've been needing to do this for a while. And that's made this even heavier. You can see it's not too much further to be full. But I was told at the bank that you can't, or they aren't handing out any more cents. I did not expect this to happen so quick, since there are literally billions of cents made. Now this is a bunch of cents someone at work gave me because they didn't want them, and there are some copper in it. I will be able to search it. It's not a full roll, but it's the best I can do right now. So what else do we have? Well, I went ahead and ordered something. Kind of looked it up and found one at a price I was willing to pay. And I'm going to live unbox it. I'm going to show you at the box. Let's go ahead and grab this. It's rather large. It feels kind of secure. So I'm going to cut the tape using this and see if we can get it out just that one little cut. Used packing paper, which is fine. And bubble wrap. So I'm really hoping this is exactly what it's supposed to be. I can already see that it's the right color. And we'll just pull it out where everyone can see. The ruby red. And I can tell by looking at this surface is not scratched. And the coins are frosted the way they should be for one that is an older one. I did find red ones that were a little bit newer. So we're going to set this down right here. It's going to shove stuff around. So I can talk about a couple other things that I got recently. This is really wonderful, actually. This piece of copper, United States Mint, Denver, Colorado. It's got mint luster from being a struck piece of copper. I assume it's copper. Department of the Treasury, 1789. So that's kind of cool. Now, this other thing I got, melt on these, and this one's been polished something fierce. It's about a full gram down on weight, with melt on a $50 being $18 when I checked it today. I got it for $15. It's 1911. I believe it's Philadelphia. Because it really, well, looks like there might be a bit of a mint mark there. It's real hard to tell. It's almost worn off. Now, this thing I happened to see a few weeks ago when one of my coin dealer guys bought it. And it was totally toned up. This is EPM 1 troy ounce 3/9 fine silver. And it says it on this side too. This becomes a smoke show when it looks like this. It's a vintage of the 80s. It's a really cool bar. I'm glad I was able to get it. Now, I paid only a few cents over the price of silver when I bought it today. So we've got that going. And I will say again, for the person who said I should have this studied by a scientist and see what it really is, it's something I found when I was a kid in the alley in the rocks somewhere. So it's one of those kind of things I'm not going to be able to go back where I got it exactly because I don't remember where I got it. And I can't go where this guy got this one and gave it to me. He had cracked the rock open and I ended up getting both sides. Now, Gary wants to ask me a question, so fire away. Ask the question. Meanwhile, we will look at the 1913 Philadelphia Barber half, which I estimated to probably run about good 4. Has most of the rim pretty solid. It's probably been cleaned, which is not surprising. Either that or this is just honest pocket wear. 188,000. This one is 1915 Philadelphia. I have a video going live for it sometime soon. It's about the same kind of condition as that one is. This one's a lower mintage than even the other one. Somewhere around 138,000 were made. There is a possible chance I might be able to get a 1914. Well, Gary, if you want to sell your coins, you got coins. Let's say you got lots of coins. Let's say you got Morgan dollars and peace dollars. 90% silver. The refiners don't really want this right now. They want this kind of stuff. 3.9's fine. They don't really want silver dollars. So we'll set these down here. Some of these have holes in them. This one's a modern 90%. It was a proof coin. Well, it still is, but it's been worn out a whole lot. The melt on these recently reached nearly $40, I believe. Maybe it's 35. But anyway, if you were trying to sell these, they're beat up and damaged, so whoever would be buying them is probably not going to give you that much for them, because damaged coins are a little harder to move. That's something to keep in mind. Or worn out ones like this. It's not much for collectible value left to it. Now, this one's not worn as bad. Has a hole in it though. So you have two options for selling your coins. Someone polished this one, and I do mean polished. It's polished even more than the Barber half, which either one of these could probably be used as a signal, you know, for returning light to someone. But if you have better coins, like this one, which you took it somewhere and someone said, well, the melt on these is $18, so I'll give you 20 for it just because it's a nice, it's not worn all the way. You'd be getting taken, because this is a very low mintage when you need to know that if you're going to sell them. Or you can sell them yourself by listing them on eBay. But before you do any selling of any coins, I kind of recommend getting a red book so you can look up your coins. Now, the quickest way to find out something is a little bit lower mintage or a better date is to just go and look, and I'll show you right here. That 1913 coin, the 627 refers to, I believe, proofs, but 188,000 were made, and in good for, this book's a few years old, but it says $75. The 1914, see that mintage, 124,230. It's double, just because it's a lot less coins, and these Barbers were sent to circulation. People weren't collecting coins in 1915 when they stopped making these. In the 1915 one, you can see that good for, it's 110. You look at the 14S, good for says 16, and as well with the D and S of 1915, but you can see the mintages on those is higher. Now, if you have a mint state one, it's still worth a lot more, because it's a key date. Out of all the Barber half dollars, that 124,000 or 124,000 for the 1914 is literally, for all the half dollars anyway, the lowest mintage. I mean, you can look at the mintages on these. You can see most of them are over $1 million. There are some that are a little less. And then there's one there, it's like 500 and 600. Those are a little bit better dates. If you can get them, they're worth more and good for. But yeah, the 1914, I might be able to get one of them. So I'm pretty sure my coin dealer had one. He's been on medical leave, so we'll find out. But yeah, you get the red book, then you know what you have. You know if you have a Morgan dollar that's in good shape. This one's worn out, but it's 1880, and the mint mark is, now I really can't see a mint mark. It's probably 1880 Philadelphia. Most of these, they made lots of them. There are a few that they didn't. The dates 1893 and 1895 for Morgan dollars are real low mintages. There's a few others that are kind of low too. But these, when they're damaged, here's a perfect example. There's big scratches in the coin. It's probably, given that it has most of the rim, otherwise it'd be about a good 4 coin, but it's damaged. Let's see. This piece dollar I got a long time ago. I think it was under $25 when I bought it. The melt on these was probably around $30 when I bought it. So I got it under melt by a little bit. Someone stamped roses in this, and you can tell when the light hits it, it's bent some. But these kind of Morgan dollars are really not collectible for terms of collectors, because they're really hole-filling type coins. 1921, they made a ton of them. Problem with this one is you'll never know what mint it was, because that hole, well, I bet it's Philadelphia, because the mint was marked kind of right below that bowl. So that one you can probably tell. I wonder if I have a San Francisco one in here, or Orleans mint, where you can tell. Here we go. The New Orleans mint used the O. This one is scraped up on the front. 1901 Orleans, and it's scraped up on the rim. That's pretty bad damage. So this coin is basically a silver weight coin, which is most of these are. There really isn't any in here that are valuable or rare. So I just keep them in a tube, and as silver goes up, I feel like I could probably sell them for more than I paid for them. If somebody wants to buy a bunch of silver dollars and they don't care if they're damaged some. Now, with these piece dollars, the mint mark's way over here. This is San Francisco. 1934S, which in high grade is a reasonably valuable coin. In that kind of condition, it's just common junk. The mint mark on these moved around a little. The Denver here is much closer to the Eagle's tail than what this San Francisco one is on this. So it wasn't a total set in the design where it's always in the same place. But I like silver dollars, but the price on these right now means even damaged ones, I feel like it's going to be very hard to buy these at a price I'm willing to pay, because you don't want to pay a whole lot for a damaged one because its main value is its silver content, not anything else. Well, that estimate's much closer to the tail on this one too. But yeah, if you're going to sell your coins, you need a red book. You need to have them to where you can catalog what you have that you want to sell. If it's common though, which this really isn't, just a common date. Let's see. Let's say this wasn't polished. It's 1911, and I believe it's Philadelphia because where its mint mark would be, I just don't really see any hint that there was a mint mark there. 1911 Philadelphia, according to my red book. We'll go back to the half dollars. 1911 Philadelphia, 1,406,000. It's not a real high mintage, but it's high enough that it's not real rare. And even the 1911D at nearly 700,000 doesn't help its value none. It's the same all the way across the board as the 1911 Philadelphia. Oddly enough, the San Francisco one, a higher mintage, treks up a little higher in value. Might be survivability issues, because a lot of these Barber coins like this, they stayed out in circulation for a long time. I've heard coin dealers tell me that their dads got them in their change up into the 1950s, and that being dimes, quarters, and half dollars. So what we're going to go ahead and do is kind of pick up these Morgan and piece dollars, put them back in the tube. And try not to make too much noise. The only real thing I want to do at the end, when I get it all the way back in the tube, is put that Ellis Island one, Statue of Liberty, on the top. It's pretty remarkable because I've seen lots of these in coin shops and whatever. And out of all of them I've ever seen, I've never seen one that was circulated at all. They've all been like in a capsule or a coin mount. This one someone pocket carried for a while. They made a lot of this proof one. The one that's not proof, they made a lot less, which for most of these commemorative dollars is the case. The proof, they ended up making more and selling more. And the uncirculated one, not as much. However, anytime I see these, they're priced right at melt. So very few people put any value on the modern commemorative 90% dollars. And I was able to buy that one when I bought it for right near its melt value at the time, which I think was $24 maybe. It's hard to remember, but it is a nice size tube of silver dollars. The tube says 20 on the bottom, but some of these are worn. I think there's more than 20 in this. In fact, pretty sure there's 24. So we can count. There's 5. There's 10. There's 15. 20. And there's 4 more. So there's 24 total dollar coins in this tube. And I'm trying to remember what the melt value was on these today. Give me a second and I will tell you. right. According to the coinflation silver coin melt chart, the silver dollar, 90%, their melt is 37 and change. So, given that all these are worn and stuff, we'll probably have to mark at least, I would guess, $2 off each coin. So what you do to determine that tube's rough value in silver, 35 times 24 of them, that's $840 roughly of silver, give or take, at current prices. That's how much silver has went up. Or rather, how much the US dollar has been devalued or debased. Because there was a time not too long ago in the 70s when one of these dollar coins was worth more as a dollar than what it is in silver. It's been a while. That's what happens when you go on you take the country off the gold standard and don't use silver or gold or nothing, and it's just backed by trust in the government, which is every year you could probably say this at an all-time low. So now you have to appreciate one other thing. You can't use these to buy something. If you go to a store and say there's a flat screen TV for $840 and you show them this tube, say I want to buy that TV, will you take this? They'll laugh at you because most of the people on the floor of something like that don't have any idea what this stuff is worth. They see it says US dollar on it. This is $24. It's $840, not 24. So you have to appreciate the fact that to turn this into something you can spend, you have to sell it to somebody who wants it. And that might prove to be difficult at times, especially when the refinery doesn't want 90%. Now, if you got a lot of 3/9 fine silver like this bar, you'll probably be able to find someone who'll buy that because they know they can send it to the refiner and get money back for them to, continue their business. Because it's all about having money to spend to get what you want, what you need, food, whatever it is. But I do want to look at this again and turn it. Looks like a little dirt right in that section, maybe. This is a really sweet looking ashtray. And they made these first, I believe, in the 30s, all the way up into maybe the 70s. I don't really know when they stopped making them. I know they make reproduction ones that don't have frosting on the coin. This one does, so it tells me it's an older one. How old? That's a different question. Now, of these coin glass pieces, the red and the neon blue and the Kelly green are the most collectible colors. This olive green color and the clear one right here are very low collectible colors. No one really wants that color compared to what they want of the red or the blue. Now, get a good look at this. It's ruby red. which is beautiful. But this neon blue is my favorite color of these. It's really, really awesome. And if you backlight it, it's really awesome that way too. By the way, when I bought this, is right at $20 for this size ashtray. I wouldn't recommend going much higher than that. If they ask for a lot more than $20 for this, they're overpricing it. Now, you can see that the frosting on this goes out onto the little dots some, which that red one doesn't. So it might not, this might be older than what the red one is. Now, when I was looking up the red coin glass to buy one, I saw several like this. This is amber, the other color. This one's not near as old as those other ones, but it is kind of cool with the island in the middle. It's done for cigars, apparently. They make them even bigger than this one that has 4 coins in the middle of the older series. This one's probably made in the 70s, I'm thinking. I'm not 100% sure when, but the history of this Fostora glass, there's books on it, so, and you could do some online research. But the amber's nice, but it's not generally considered as collectible as the red, blue, or green. So the green. Been watching my videos for a while. You know I have a green one. And it's not the olive green. It's the lighter Kelly green color, which this appears to be a little bit dusty. So we just wipe this down a little bit to get rid of the dust the best I can. It's a little bit better. Now, the green, this light green, is really nice. I like it quite a bit compared to the olive green. Now, when I bought this, it was right around $20, and the red one was in the neighborhood of that price too. But when I was looking up the red one, I saw several of them, like the amber one I just showed you. But this one is super cool. So we'll set this down for a bit while I take that small cup of scents, and we'll start looking to see what I got in here. How many coppers are there? Because that's all I'm really looking for. Now, looking at that, giving the look of it, I'm thinking this one's a copper one. Well, actually, it's 84. Here's an 82 one, which might be copper. I'm not going for might. I don't want to use a scale. I want to be able to tell without any guesswork. 66 and 79 are both 96% copper. I'll pull out a few more of these, and I'm kind of thinking that might be 1971. That's a 73, a 75. Well, if you see that, you know it's not a copper one. It's copper plated zinc. The rest of them, copper plated zinc. So I got 3 more that are copper out of that little batch. 71, 73 Denver, and 1975. It's not going to be enough to fill my coffee jar the rest of the way, but I hope I can do it. But not being able to get cents from the bank means that it's probably going to get really hard to get cents for businesses to hand out change. And it might be hard to get more cents. Now, it might not be the case for all banks around 72 and 77 Denver. But my local bank, one of them that I go to, said they aren't handing them out anymore. I got some rolls not that long ago. You can kind of see the copper starting to take on the green tint that can happen to these when they get a little environmental damage. So, a couple more shield ones. And then, well, that's a wheat cent. That's not going into that jar. It's a pretty old one too, 1919. It's over 100 years old. But it looks like it's got quite a bit of environmental damage. So what are these two? 1980 and 1974 Denver. So I've pulled a small stack of copper cents out of that. There's 4 more left. Right off, that's not old. That one's not old. That one's not old. And the last one in the box, or not box, but cup, environmental damage, 1978. So I think I got about 10 or 11. 11 copper cents. We'll put them back in the cup, and we'll try to collect more over the next few weeks until I can't get any more copper cents. So tomorrow, I've heard that there's going to be a bottle show and collectible show. My coin dealer goes there often in the past, so if he has the 1914 I remember seeing, or at least I think I saw, I might be having the 3-year run of the lowest mintage of Barber half dollars there is, because these two are real low. I mean, out of any coin from the 1900s for business circulation, those are really low mintages. But that bar is a smoke show, and it's Eastern Precious Metals, I believe. Somebody thought it was Empire, but when they looked it up, they found out it's Eastern and not Empire. I don't know how long ago Eastern, or not Eastern, but Empire started making this stuff. This is vintage from the 80s, and it is toned up something fierce. But I think that gives it a smoke show look to it. And it looks like it might have been rubbed a little to flatten out some of the letters slightly. But it weighed 20 pennyweight at the coin dealers with a little extra, and it might have been just inaccuracy of the scale. But he Sigma tests all the silver he buys, and he doesn't like to buy really big bars. Anything over 10 ounces, he's not too keen on buying because they're harder to weigh, and on a scale, because most scales for this kind of stuff don't go up to 100 ounces. And in the middle of a 100-ounce bar could be lead or something. Fakes have been known to be made. As for these, if you put it on a Sigma and it says 3/9 fine silver, you're probably not got nothing fake. Because Sigmas are pretty smart about that for this size, as long as it's not too thick, and this is not real thick. But it is a smoke show bar, and I had to have it. When the coin dealer bought it, he had it on a table, and I said, "Hell, what's that?" And he showed it to me. I said, "That's pretty cool." And I do like toning like this. It gives it a patina and an old look that doesn't come from just sitting in eggs overnight. You can get a toning that way. You make scrambled eggs and stick silver in it and leave it in there about a day. It'll take on toning, but it'll be artificial. This is not artificial. I don't believe, anyway. Be hard to prove one way or another, but 1 cent Lincolns. Yeah, every one of them you listed are copper, 96% copper. This stuff is copper plated zinc. And copper plated zinc is terrible. If you leave one of these, bury it in your flower bed for a couple years to dig it back up, you'll probably have holes through it. At least the copper's more durable than that. But anyway, I don't have much more for tonight. But like I said, if you're going to sell coins, get yourself a red book. It doesn't have to be the newest one. Well, this one's a few years old, but the one thing about this that won't change is the mintages of the coins and which ones are key dates and stuff. Now, the values will change because, well, this is 7 years old, actually about 8, because they start printing these late in 2017 for the 2018 version. But yeah, you want to get a red book. It'll give you an idea of what coins are worth and stuff. And know that in all these series there are key dates. But one other thing that's kind of important for some of these, like if you talk about nickels, buffalo nickels, there's very few of them that are really worth much unless they're in really good shape. And it's a relatively short series. Well, not real short, 1913 to 1937. But the thing about it is, for buffalo nickels, that's what we're looking at, they made a lot of most of them. You see those mintages, there's not that many of them are real low. Now the 21S, that's pretty high value for a good 4 coin. And the double die is probably pretty rare. Double die of verse from 1916. I mean, that graded one sold for a lot of money in 2007. And the 1918 8/7 also sold for quite a bit. But your buffalo nickel, if it's been circulated in quite a bit, the dates wore off of them pretty fast. And once the date's gone, what you have then is just a nickel. And some of these other nickels, what they call the V nickel, not that many people collect them. They are really hard to sell. I know some coin dealers who don't really want to buy them at all because getting rid of them later is tough. That's another thing about your coin collection. You want stuff that people will buy, and that means silver most of the time. All this copper stuff, the people who buy older copper cents, and I mean by older, I mean the large cents, they want them in good shape. They don't want environmental damage. They don't want torn up coins. There are very few that actually collect them, and those who do want good coins. They don't want damage. The silver like this, it doesn't matter so much because it has a value in silver. And that's what they would price and buy it for. This one's being polished, has no more collectibleness to it. So it's just silver weight. But I've been on for a while and I'm hoping everyone's having a good time. But I can't stay on all night. I have other things to do. And I hope that everyone has a good night because that's pretty much all I have for this. And we will see you next time because that's all I got.